2, and 1. Hey everyone, this is Bobo from the Mario server. I'm here to do a video on skill training. So for those who are very new to Mabinogi and you haven't ever leveled any skill yet, basically skill training in Mabinogi isn't just all about throwing AP into the skill and then ranking it up. Most games are like that, kind of like, you just learn a new skill and then you just level it once you gain the AP for it. Unfortunately, Mabinogi is more complex like that. So they don't do things like that unless it's really easy. Like a really easy training skill. Anyways, to give you guys an example of how skill training works, basically I'm gonna go ahead and look down at the very beginning newbie skills, which is probably skills like smash, counterattack, windmill, things like that. So I already have mine at rank 1, so it's kind of like really bad example right now, but if you were to click on your skill, you would see that on the bottom, not that one, let me try counterattack since I didn't write that one. Alright, if you click on your skill in your list and you see your skill, you'll see also that it says training method, and it's a list of specific training methods you need to actually do in order to rank it up. Some of these skill training methods can be kind of questionable and confusing, because then you're gonna have things that say like, kill an enemy that's powerful or strong, or blah blah, and then you're just like constantly killing a bunch of mobs and nothing is training, and you're just like confused, like, why is this not training? Because I've just been killing a bajillion mongooses and they're pretty strong to me. Well, unfortunately, Mabi has this interesting system where each character has a CP level, and unfortunately you can see my CP level right now, unless you have mods. But what CP level is, it's basically combat power, and what it is that it compares your level to other mobs. Hopefully that's kind of makes sense. If your CP is really high, then weaker mobs will appear more weak to you. I mean, that that makes a lot of sense. Just to make it more clear, I will probably show you guys after I show you the training methods here, like outside of this mission, because there's no mobs in here except for spikes. As you can see, if I hold Alt, it's all just spikes around me. So I can't really show you guys the CP levels. So anyways, let's just get down to the training part of it. I'm kind of skipping step 2 here and going straight to step 5 or something. Alright, so I'm going to do an example skill training for fighter skills. Yay! Clap clap. So for fighter skills, let's see, if I click on Charging Strike, it'll say you get a critical hit with Charging Strike. Fair enough, you just get a crit and then you train at 1 point up. And then if you use Spinning Uppercut, get another critical hit. I've already completed this part right here, so it's no point for me to do this one. But this part right here says lower an enemy's defense and protection with Spinning Uppercut. Some things like this, skilling methods like this are kind of like, all about luck. You kind of have to get lucky and hope you get a crit, or you just actually increase the amount of crit you can get. So you can see my crit level, it's pretty high, I can increase it. You can also increase it by using Battlefield, what's this? Overture. Increase critical chance. So things like that will help boost your chance to get the training method in, but it won't guarantee. But it'll help boost. So it's a lot easier. And then, let's see, Dropkick. Now here's an interesting one. This, training method says, attack 2 or more enemies with splash damage. So that means I actually have to attack 2 enemies. The way they say the training methods, they're pretty fair and simple. Some of them can be really tedious, some of them can be really, easy. So it's all about just reading the training method and knowing what you need to rank. Also keep in mind that there are some training methods here in most skills that give more training than others. So if you were to train just the bottom part, which is mostly the higher amount of training points going into your skill, it would be a lot more effective than training the smaller ones. However, if you're doing something like a really, really butt-hard skill that requires you to, I don't know, let me see, something like Judgment Blade, where you actually have, or no, I'm actually not going to even use Judgment Blade, I'm going to use Celestial Spike, that's even the worst. Defeat an apostle with divine damage. It'll give me 0.60 training points. However, you know how hard that is to defeat an apostle with Celestial Spike? Like that's hard. But it's easier just to actually train it by use the skill and also successfully bind the apostle with the skill. So you know, you probably want to use the easier ones and put a little bit more time on those than trying to constantly defeat an apostle with divine damage. So it really depends on what skill you're training. Can't really say which is the better one for you. So hopefully you guys do the math, calculate how much points you need, and choose the best method. Anyways, let's try doing some fighter skills right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do fighter skills. And I specifically picked this mission here, and this is in I was about to say Tara. This is in Taltine. It's a Taltine Shadow mission, and it is called Provocation. This is one of the most common places where people train their skills, because 1, nobody can bother them, and 2, you can constantly just hit the spike, and it's a stationary object that doesn't go anywhere, hence stationary object. And it's still kind of considered as a mob, however it's not. So how do I explain this? If you have a skill that requires you to have kills, this is not possible. If you have a skill that requires you to actually like lock onto the enemy and it, you know, like for example, what's this skill called? Focus Fist. If I were to use Focus Fist, I am not gonna get training off of this, because you know it's like, yeah, I didn't hit the thing. I couldn't hit the thing. I did get Chain Mastery training though. So not all skills will work on these barrier spikes. But if I were to use Charging Strike and I was spinning Uppercut and then Dropkick, I will get training off of them. You can see I'm getting some training. Actually not, because I didn't get the crits. I'm just getting regular training right now. So I get some training off of these spikes, and I can just constantly spam this over and over while watching YouTube or something, because you know that's Mabi training for ya. Kind of tediously train the same skill over and over and over and over and over and over. So skills like what's this, Pummel, I can't use it on the spikes. So not all skills will work on these spikes, but it's a very nice place to train. It's very easy. The only hard thing is actually getting people to bring you into this mission. Unfortunately, you do need at least a minimum of 3 people to enter this mission, so you're gonna have to like drag in 2 other people. You know, maybe it's best to go with your friends or with your guildies and say, hey, yo, can you bring me into this mission and we can train together, like, you know, this house, BFF forevers. Yeah, so you can do that. That'll make the training time much more less boring. That's what I think. So I can train off these things over and over and over and just like, okay, I don't have to worry about a mob attacking me or anything like that. But then you do have training skills that do require you to kill things. So Provo, it won't be the best place for you. I'm just going to mention right now that Provo is one of the most common places for training. I'll get out of here before accidentally hit that orb. I keep staring at it. Okay, another common. Whoa! So many people. I'm gonna jump to another non-populated channel. Another very common place I like to train, and this is just specifically for me. I'm not sure about if other people like to train here, but I do like to train in Doran's Request. And the reason why is because, one, Doran's request lets you control the amount of enemies you wish to spawn. At the same time, you can manage the CP level by jumping from hard mode to advanced to int to basic and so on. So here is going to be a very quick example of CP here. And I'm going to actually have to probably wear some minus CP. Oh crud, I don't think I can wear. I think I'm aged like, oh nope. I can't wear my CP gear. Okay, let me see if I can wear my abysmal. Yeah, oh, joy! Finding stuff in my pets. You guys all know how this works. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I mean, nice, bright, and red, so I know where it is. Right, unfortunately, I can't equip my knuckles with this. But because I'm wearing an abysmal cooking pot, it's lowering the amount of CP I originally have. I'm not sure if that's good enough. But let me jump into a hard mode of Doran's and let's see what the CP is. Doran's Quest. Yeah. Now, please keep in mind that my CP is relatively high and it's not the same as other people who might be watching this. So if you go into Doran's on a hard mode, it's not the same amount of CP. The CP is based off of your CP, and it's not the same as everyone's. Alright, so right now I am in Doran's Request. I'm in a hard mode run. I'm wearing a abysmal pot, which is supposed to lower my CP by 500. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this orb here. I like to hit this orb because, you know, these guys are pretty darn easy. Go ahead and lullaby these guys. Lullaby! Okay, so now I lullaby these guys. If I hold Alt, you'll see, if you can really see in these really small, tiny letters. Right there, can you see? You'll see that this enemy is strong to me. That means if you have a quest, I don't know, what am I saying? If you have a training skill that says need to defeat strong enemies, this is how you find out if the enemy is strong or not. Now I'm gonna go ahead and kill these guys. Get out of my face. These guys are strong to me. Oh. Oh. Oh, they woke up. Go back to sleep. Ah! Oh, I rubber banded. Oh no, I hate this. I hate the rubber. Ooh. Okay, okay. I'm gonna run away! Alright. I tried to spike him, but I failed. Wow! Wow! Okay, you know what? You guys are delaying my video. Okay. So now I'm gonna get rid of these guys and then hit the orb again, this time without actually holding my abysmal, and let's see if that changes. Wow, you pinged! You pinged! That's not cool. Why do I need a cylinder? What do I keep on clicking? Oh, whoops. Okay, would you stop it already? Just go away. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, so now I'm not holding my abysmal, I am just holding my sword. Nothing is lowering my CP. I'm gonna hit the orb again and let's see if they're still strong to me. So now you'll see that. Oh, I need lullaby. Good night! You'll see that they are no longer strong to me. They are like, there's actually no difficulty next to their name, and that basically means that they are the same difficulty as I am. They are equivalent to my level. Hey. You guys are equivalent to me. So they are equivalent. Now, do keep in mind that Mabi has a weird way of labeling difficulty of enemies and can be kind of confusing. So I'm gonna, hold on, let me just clear these guys so they're not like interrupting me. Just go away. Good, you're defending. Okay, there you go. So maybe has a weird way of saying the difficulty of the enemies by throwing in a mix of you know, powerful, powerful. What do you call it? Powerful, normal, awful, very powerful, very awful. I don't know. I forget. But just know that some of these are pretty much the same. So to make it clear, let's go down the list. The very hardest difficulty is the boss level enemy. Basically, if you hold Alt, you'll see that it says boss, and that is the boss. You know, the boss of all bosses. And then the next one, if you were to hold down Alt, you will see you will see awful. And what awful is equivalent to very powerful. So if you were to look on your training list and it says defeat blah 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 very powerful enemies with blah blah blah, then blah blah blah, that is that is awful. You have to kill awful enemies. If you have a skill training thing that says you need to kill a powerful enemy is equivalent to a strong enemy. So if you hold Alt and you see strong, strong is awful. Wait, strong is powerful. See, this whole thing is confusing me now. Now, if you were to hold Alt and you don't see anything at all, no text like you just saw earlier, that is basically a normal enemy. And basically, sometimes you'll have a training skill that says kill blah blah blah. That's equivalent, like your level, your level enemy or normal level, something like that. That is basically an enemy that does not have a tag at all. Next is weak, and I don't think they call this anything else. So if you hold Alt and you see weak, then you know the enemy is weak. That's all I can say. There's not a lot of training methods that ask you to kill weak mobs. I can't even think of one right now, but most cases there aren't any, and that is because when you were to, if you were to kill enemies, and you are very strong, and you don't have, sorry, I'm like throwing on my throat. If you were to kill enemies and you do not have abysmal or any minus CP gear, most of the time you're gonna be killing weak enemies. So you're gonna have to like try to bump up your lower your CP to make them stronger. Okay. And the last but not least enemy is the weakest. The weakest of all weak in Mabi. And those are the mobs that you most likely won't get any training or anything out of at all. So those are the 5 difficulties sorry. Those are the 6 difficulties of enemies in Mabi, I guess. And that is what you need to remember when it comes to training certain specific skills, asking you to kill or hit or do stuff with that difficulty. Once again, another reason why I like Doran's request for specifically training CP related skills is because each orb kinda adjusts to your CP in a way. Earlier, if you saw me hit this orb and I had the abysmal, the enemies were what, strong to me? Yeah, the enemies were strong to me. And then after I took them off, they were normal. Now let's see if I hit this one. I believe this one has a few weaker mobs here. If I were to hold Alt up, now you can see that these enemies are, these two, only just these two specific, are normal to me. These two out here, the Shires, they are weak. So if I were to switch out my abysmal, you can't see it right now because it doesn't show instantly. It will go up by 1, if that makes sense. So then these two most likely will end up being strong. These two out here will end up being normal to me. And that's why I like Thorns, just because I can adjust, like, hey, you know, I need to kill strong and awful, or I need to kill boss and blah blah. So That's why I come to this specific mission to train. Unfortunately, the downside to using Doran's Request is that you don't get anything out of it except for skill training. You're not going to get any gold, you're not going to get any drops, you're not going to get even any EXP. So that's the only downside to Doran's Request, is that you only can technically train skills. Also, do keep in mind that if you're going to be stuck in this mission for a long time, do not hit the orb at the very last second when the mission ends, because then if there is a wave of mobs out, they will stay the orbs can't be hit anymore. If you don't hit the orb and you let the time run out, you can still spawn more enemies after the timer runs out, so you don't have to worry about constantly jumping in and out of this mission, you know, over and over. Just want to get it out of here. And like I said, I also like Doran's Request because I can adjust the levels. If I find that hard mode was way too hard for me, like maybe if I were to enter hard mode and I had, if I had a Abysmal and then they were actually boss to me and I needed Strongs or something like that, then I would just go down a level here and then, you know, adjust from there. So that is another reason why I go to this mission for training. Everyone has their own preferences and where they want to train, so I can't really say this is the best training method, but this is one of the few, I guess. Alright. Last but not least, another training method. I'm gonna go over there. Go over there. Tara. Let's enjoy Tara's lagtastic entry. Lagtastic! Alright. Another somewhat popular place I think people like to train is their method. And the reason why is because their method, other than Turnanog, okay, TNN, every time I say TNN I think of like a TV show, TNT, is Doran's Request. So let me go click a hard mode, enter their method. Ooh, hey, it's today's And the reason why lots of people like to train in their method is for a few things. It's because the zombies! So I'm actually gonna go towards the end of the run, show you what I mean. If I can. As quick as possible. Lagtastic! Okay. One reason why people like to train here is because the zombies, they ping. So, and they don't really attack you too much unless they're really close to you. So if you were to train skills that require, I don't know, like long distance. I remember back in the day when I first started alchemy, I liked to train flame burst here. Because, you know, look at them, they're not gonna die off of my flame burst. But they're gonna stay clumped together and it makes it so much easier to train, you know? So that's one thing about their method, is just the zombies, they don't die unless you attack them with melee. It's also a good method to group a bunch of enemies together for specific training purposes. So where's my sword? Oh, there it is. Oh, nope, you're gonna smack me. Oh, stop it. Okay. I'm out of here. And again, because you're doing a shadow mission, it makes it so much better, because you can always adjust to the level difficulty and find the CP you're looking for in terms of enemies. I should have probably just entered easy mode. That's gonna take too long. No! Okay. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna just run an easy mode so I can finish this faster. because I am no pro melees. Alright, now I'm gonna go to an basic. Basic, yes. Waste my daily, who cares? This is also a pretty good slash popular place people train gunner skills. Just cause again, they don't die, and you can group them all together. Wait, what? Oh, there's a wave here. Alright. Why are you guys so spread out? If you have certain skills like, I don't know, windmill, 3 or more, or 4 or more, this is pretty good. Pretty good. But not efficient, just because, you know, you have to constantly keep doing this run over and over. But hey, if you want to get some EXP and you also want to windmill, why not double dip? Oh, you guys are not close enough. Wow, I missed that one. We're out of my food cart. Okay. So I'm gonna get to the very end and explain why some gunner peeps like to train in here. Ideally, probably good to just enter this mission when you're in easy mode, just cause if you're gonna train in here, you're actually gonna need to have the most amount of time you need. Cause once the time runs out, the enemies don't stay around, unfortunately. And I know this this mission is also popular for other training stuff, not just gunner. Can't really think of any right now. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe puppetry. Things that require a clump ton of mobs to be together. And I will explain why. Once I get to the end, almost there. 2 more minutes. There's all the enemies. Oh, there's a wave right here. Oh, okay. All the barriers to the square has been released, so now I can go in here. Alright. I'm gonna get my guns out this time. And because zombies, they get pinged from specific skills that aren't melee, I can easily gather them up without actually having to kill them. So if you're training skills like facing the wrong way, bullet storm, shooting rush, it's really great to get them all here, come together, and then bring them together. Go in. As long as you don't windmill, because that actually will kill them. Get back! And if you have puppets, you could just crisis. That's great. Unless it's really strong. There you go. Now they're all getting nice into nice one big pile. Oop, gotta reload. Don't touch me, don't touch me. Let's see which direction should I put them to. That way. You guys are going that way. That cooldown. Ow. Ow. You're probably gonna just have to take the hits. Okay, so now I kind of pushing them towards the wall here, so that way it makes it much more easier to train. But because I'm already done with my gunner skills, you can't really see any training thing going up. But if you are working on gunners, their method is probably a really good place to train. And for other skills too. So that is what people do. They go into certain specific shadow missions, or maybe even out into area, certain mobs like mongooses and all that good stuff, and just train on enemies. Some people train at raccoons, some people train at foxes, if you guys know where those are. Basically, at Dugald, what do you call it, logging camp. Ow! And the very first place where Treffer's at. That small area with a bunch of foxes. They spawn relatively quick, so it's easier to train a lot of things there. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Move back! So there you have it, guys. This is basically how training works in Mabi. Kind of take advantage of your surroundings, your shadow missions, your CP, and get back to training.